everybody, it is Wednesday of World History class, and we are going to go into some interesting things today. I'm actually excited about this. So I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but some of the things we're going to talk about today I actually studied in college in a class, and I wish I couldn't find the book. It is somewhere packed away, but I actually have this book that we're going to talk about a little bit today. And I read it, and I wrote a paper on it in college. Okay, so basically, oh my gosh, okay, Austria promised self-rule for the Hungarians, but Franz Joseph I puts that idea on hold. He does not like that idea, and because Tsar Nicholas I, there were still peasants, and he wanted to keep that, and he also only wanted to recognize the Russian Orthodox Church and Russian tradition and culture, and realism started arising. And it was this idea that we've been through romanticism and we've been through idealism. Now we're into realism. Like, what's the reality of what it's going to take for government leaders to really put some stuff to work? Sorry. It was called realpolitik, basically, and it means the politics of reality. And so one of the examples of that was Machiavelli's The Prince. And when I was in college, I took a class called Organizational Communication, and we actually read Machiavelli's Prince. And I don't know where it's at. It's a little tiny book, and I mean, it was in this little tiny book, and we read it and we wrote a paper on it. But basically, it's this idea that you'd rather be feared than respected and liked, and people to rule by fear, to really just use force of any nature to make people do what you want them to do. So basically, kind of coercion and not really just even compliance, but really coercion to scare people to comply to you. And at this point, Italy was all completely divided politically. The smaller countries of Italy finally joined together, which finally, keep going, okay. Okay, so Maltesini started Young Italy, which was part of the smaller countries, and in 1870, finally, the Italians were finally unified, and, sorry, that was really loud, I know. Germans created a trade union called Zollverein in 1848, and the Otto von Bismarck was not a realist and was bothered, and he bothered Austria until they actually declared a war with their country. And France and Prussia, I think I might have gone too far. Let me look. Oh no, okay, this is where we end. So they have the Franco-Prussian War because of Otto von Bismarck just really bothering Austria until they declared war. So France and Prussia did not agree about who should be on the throne of their conjoined area. So that was basically all that we have today. So we have to get through this kind of boring-ish stuff to get to some cool stuff. So if you back it up one more page, I want to go back because I don't think I wrote any notes about this because I kind of knew about it. So go back up a little bit to page 379. And as you see, there was Florence Nightingale, and she was a nurse, one of the first nurses of the American Red Cross, and she basically she wore a Red Cross, so like the American Red Cross actually like used that because of her, and she was a nurse during this time and really was well trained and took care of the people during these wars. And so if you think about it now, I just wanted to touch on this because there are so many people that are finally honoring the nurses. It's kind of sad it took a pandemic for nurses to be honored for all they do, but all these nurses are being honored. So I'm actually going to send you guys links to where you guys can watch these healthcare workers be honored I think it's just such an awesome thing. So I wanted to just touch on that, the pioneers of military medicine. And as you can see, Mary C. Cole was another one. Um, so that was really how women served most of the time back then, because women couldn't serve in the actual war for fighting. So they had to serve as nurses and as kind of like servants on the sidelines. So that is all we have, and then tomorrow we'll pick up on page 380-ish, and I'll really start at page 382 so we can kind of zoom through this. Okay.